One, two, three. Okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the episode of Connecting with Heidi Goodman. This is the episode number 2021. And my name is Sam Lee. I'm the founder of Connect with Confidence, and I'm the interviewer Heidi. How's it going, Heidi?
Yeah, good, thank you.
That's great. That's great. How was your weekend? What did you do over the weekend?
Yeah, that was a really exciting weekend. We just had Halloween weekend, didn't we? And that
Oh
was
yeah,
full moon. It was also full moon and second full moon for the month of October, so it's a blue moon.
yeah.
A lot of intense energies around, and I was lucky enough to go out and celebrate with some friends, dancing. So yeah, that's always good fun.
That's great. That sounds great. Yeah. So for Halloween, you went to some kind of function or something like that?
Yeah. There is a function that's held regularly at the dance studio where I learn dancing, and every Saturday night they have something on, which is really lovely. And yeah, they dress up quite a lot. They like dressing up quite a bit as well for fun. So Halloween was perfect for that.
Yeah, that's great. So you actually you like dancing as a passion. You like dancing?
It's definitely a beautiful way that I've really embraced over the last year to shift energy, because everything I do is all about energy, and everything I am is all about energy, and helping other people tune into that too. So for myself, I actually really love getting out walking, riding my bike. I love dancing. Dancing is amazing for shifting energy through your body, especially when you've been processing something all day long, and then you just need to let it out of your body. Quite often we hold it and it will be trapped. So dancing is my favorite way to get that out.
That's cool. That's great. Nice.
Yeah.
So what kind of dance do you do? Like, is it all different types of dancing?
I do Latin dancing, so it's
Right.
mostly salsa and bachata. They do zouk as well. Yeah, it's really wonderful. Yeah.
Oh wow, nice. Yeah, I guess dancing is a very good way, like I said, to shift your energy. That's I guess that's what it's about.
Yes.
Making use of
Yeah.
it. Cool. That's
Yeah, and
great.
it's about connecting with others too. We all, as humans, we just really love connecting, don't we?
Yeah.
People can feel quite lonely and separate from others when they're not able to meet up with other people. So now that we're able to do this again, it's really wonderful to get back out and actually have that connection and that close connection with people in that space. It's a safe space that's set up that people can actually go to enjoy this form of connection. So I love that.
Yeah, totally. It's really about building positive relationships with people
Yeah,
that you meet. Yeah,
totally.
and you're totally right. Like I sometimes feel lonely as well. I really need to go out there and socialize with people. Otherwise, you just be like alone again and again and again.
Yes.
So yeah, cool. So yeah, tell me a bit about yourself, Heidi. So outside of work, do you just so did you say you like dancing, you like riding a bike, and what was the other thing that you like doing?
So I also spend time with my children as well when I have
Right.
them. I don't have them all the time,
Yeah.
but when I do have them, we go out to different parks and things like that and play. They're still quite young, so they like to do those sorts of things, and it's good to be out in nature.
Yeah.
I live on the Gold Coast in
Yeah.
Australia, so it's a really beautiful place to live. We have the best of both worlds here. We're really, really, really blessed to live here. We have the beaches, so I love going for walks along the beaches with different friends, or even by myself sometimes. It's a really, really great place to just clear your mind, to actually get inspiration as well, and also to ground your own energy. It's also, you get those positive vibes from the ocean. Those ions in the air around the seawater actually is very, very good for your body. So that I love that. I also have the opportunity to go into rainforest, because that is also on the Gold Coast. It's in the hinterland and very, very close, and I'm in between both, so it's perfect. Quite often I'm drawn to go into nature like that, into rainforest areas or areas where it's set aside with little walkways. And just the animal life. I absolutely love connecting with all the animals in there, and I actually love the messages that they bring. They bring messages for every person, and every time you come across one, it's about a process of tuning in. Tuning into your own energy, but then tuning into the energy of that animal or those plants that are there. The plants also carry a vibration and share that energy in that space. So the air is fresher. Everything is calmer. It's a beautiful space to reset and ground my own energy. And I love doing that with my children as well, because they love seeing all the new things that are there, or seeing the faces in the trees and finding the moss on the rocks and the logs and things like that. So yeah, it's filled with so much detail and so much life. You know, so those are the things that I love to do.
That's great. Yeah, totally. I guess you're into nature, which is good. It's always good to get out of the work, normal work, and then really go out to have some fun and release some energy and enjoy that lifestyle. Yeah, that's great. So Heidi, so you're a holistic life coach and a Reiki master, right? So what do you like? So what made you get into this field?
Good question. I went through my own life experiences, I guess, and came to a point where my marriage fell apart, and which happens to a lot of people. Not everyone, but a lot of people. And when that did fall apart, I was really faced with, well, what now? Who am I? I had really poured everything that I was into that relationship for a very, very long time. So I really was faced with those identity questions. Who am I? Why am I here? What am I supposed to be doing? Because I felt like my whole world basically came crashing down around me. You know, everything I had been taught as a child from my parents and my grandparents was programming me a certain way to believe that, you know, you find love and you stay together with one person forever, and this is the way it is. They really didn't teach me any concept around that there are other kinds of relationships out there, or that there is anything outside of that. So I have basically gone through a process of having to come back to myself and really tune in and honor who I am and what I'm here, and tune into what I'm here to be. Who am I here to be? Or who am I here to serve? Because I have a lot of love to give, I found, you know. So having found that it was in me and it's not something separate from me, I was like, well, that's great. I can give it to myself, which I love to do. And I had to kind of accept that as well at the time. Then I was like, well, it's overflowing now. So now I would like to give that to others. I was noticing around me that there were many other women, particularly, that were moving through something similar to what I moved through, you know, where they got to a certain point in their age and really it felt like their whole life was crumbling. So, and they didn't know what to do. And I noticed that the support networks around, where in the space where I was living and the wider community as well, that there really wasn't enough support there for those women moving through that type of space. And I just saw a gap, if you like. I was like, well, I have skills, but I'm also learning new skills now, because I started the coaching journey then. And, you know, for my own personal development, but then it became, well, now I can use these skills to help other people as well. So the whole process has been self-healing, but at the same time, I've been able on my journey to be able to help people who are not quite as far along on their journey. So the people that are moving through what I moved through, or similar situation that I moved through, I'm able to help them come further along on their journey. you know, and I think it's beautiful like that, because I also have my own mentors and coaches that I work with who are further along in the journey than I am, and they help me to come further along. So it's this beautiful, I have this image in my mind of, you know, one hand down and another hand down, and we're all on this journey together and we're all supporting each other. So yeah, that's in a nutshell what got me into this, you know. Yeah, I love it. I never would have thought a few years ago that this is what I would be doing, but now I can't live with it. This is all of me. Like I embody the work that I do. So it's not separate. Yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree with your story. Like, I guess when you go through adversities, it's really about you teaching other people the same, how to get through that adversity and probably basically inspire. Yeah, so yeah, that's great, Heidi. So I guess being a life coach is not as easy, but I guess when you do things, when you've been through the experience and you want to impact upon the greater world, then that's where magic things happen. So yeah, I'm a coach myself as well. So I know where you went through. I guess it's really about when you go through some situations that's very hard for you. That's how you can become one of the life coach and inspire people, which is very good. I like what you do. So who's your ideal client,
Yes.
Heidi? You might have overlapped a little bit just then. So who's your normal ideal clients that you help?
Yeah.
Yep. So who's your ideal client?
So yeah, so really I mostly work with women. Occasionally I will have men come to me to work with me.
Yep.
They really have to be ready. As much as I would love to be able to support men through their journey, their healing journey,
yep.
Because I basically work with people on a soul level and within themselves. So it doesn't matter to me whether they're male or female. The thing is, men seem to be holding a bit of a lot of pressure around them from society, from how they have interacted with women as well, how they have interacted with men over many years. And it's generational, I find, and definitely in Australia and a few other countries around the world where men have reached out to me for the support. They just haven't been far along enough on their journey yet for what I provide. So I've been able to point them into a direction for different things that they can start working on with where they're at, because it really is an awareness game. It's about tuning in and becoming more aware of and more conscious of the way that you're showing up and the way that you're being and how your energy is moving. So for me, I really work with women. I love working with women who are, you know, they're middle-aged. So, and really what's happened in their life is something drastic, usually. Something quite devastating or drastic has happened. And I have worked with a lot of women who have been through domestic violence situations or in abusive situations, or have moved through trauma, a lot of trauma. And some of them have literally moved through that for their entire life. And then they will come to me and they're in their 50s and we shift it. We actually go to the root core, the core of it all, underneath everything. So we don't just go layer by layer unless that's all they can handle. Pretty much what I do is we go deep. We go very, very deep, and we do soul reconnections. I help people reconnect with who they really are. Now, how do I do that? I actually work with a main process of mBraining, so multiple braining integration techniques. It's a rather new coaching modality, and I am an mBIT master coach and an mBIT coach trainer as well. So that's exciting, but it's head, heart and gut and bringing that into alignment. So it's the neural networks in those spaces. They are very complex neural networks. This is why they're referred to in science as brains. With mBIT, it is the only coaching model in the world at the moment that actually provides integration with all three. And it also helps remove the blocks along the way. So it's basically founded in the latest neuroscience. It's been around since 2008. And it's a really exciting space to work in. it also aligns with energy. So I'm also a master energy coach. So, and with the Reiki, I work with chakras. So when I'm working with that, it just aligns with the physical neurons in the body as well, quite often, and the spaces in between. So it's even more detailed. So the service that I offer people, and the support that I offer is very holistic. You're not just a head on shoulders. You are your whole body. You are your whole being. And quite often the women that come to me, or the people that come to me, they are very stuck in their head. They're overanalyzing stuff. They're confused. They don't know how to make a clear decision. And they certainly don't know how to tune in for what's for their highest good. They think they do, but they're just not receiving the messages from the rest of their body. So with the process that I take people through, it really, first of all, it brings things in. Well, we communicate first. All of those spaces communicate differently. So I do take people through the process, but when they're in a program with me, they also learn the process. Because I basically want to empower the people, whoever's coming to me, I want to empower them to be able to do this for themselves. I don't want them to walk away from me and go, well, that was lovely, but now I really don't know how to do that for myself. I would prefer to give them the skills and go, you know what, I'll hold you in that space so that you can we can move through what you need to and release what needs to be released, embrace what needs to be embraced, receive the messages that are there for you. Be open enough to receive them, first of all, but receive them and actually learn from those lessons, physically integrate it and be able to move forwards. So there is quite a lot involved, a lot of people think it's easy or whatever. I'm like, it's multiple layers in that way. I have the tools, I have the skills and the strategies to take people through that space. So for me, it's quite intuitive as well, because I have all of the training. And I have the tools and the modalities. And what happens is I follow the energy within the person in the session. And I teach them how to do that as well, for themselves later, like further down the track. They start to learn how to tune into their own energy so that they can actually do that for themselves to a certain degree. At first, they do need support, because what they need to look at in themselves has been buried under so much over so long in their life that they're holding it in a place that they've been protecting, and it's quite often quite vulnerable. They need to be vulnerable and they need to feel safe and supported in that. So that is the space that I offer for people. And I use Reiki as well to open the flow easier for people so that they can actually tune in better, so that the flow of energy through their meridians is much better. And that just helps with everything. It just helps with everything, really. It helps with the emotional healing. It helps with the distance healing that needs to occur between them and somebody else in a relationship, for example, because a lot of these people have relationship issues going on. And so they get dealt with as we move through the process of tuning in, like inside. Because it all comes from inside. They're creating their whole experience from the way that they're processing it in their body. It's a lot of information right there, but there you go.
That's good. I'm learning something new every time. That's great. Yeah, it's good to hear from a different perspective, like as from a holistic life coach. That's great. And how do you normally find your clients? Where do they come from? Like, do you know?
So I love this. So a few different ways, and it's really, really beautiful the way that it works. It's kind of like I view it like I'm connected into the fabric of everything that is. We all are. We all really are. I'm also very grounded, so this is really beautiful. People come to me literally by what they call chance. And they're literally like, I don't know how I came across you, but I did. Things just will bring them to me, like situations or a conversation with somebody that they know, and that person will know me. And then they will refer me because they know what I do and the service that I offer. It could also come from a referral from a previous client. I have the most amazing clients that I've worked with, and that some of them are still working with me right now. They've just been through a beautiful 6-week program with me, and they're continuing now with me further, which is just beautiful. So those people will quite often refer. So if a friend of theirs or somebody that they know is talking to them about something they're struggling with, they mention me. So we get in contact, and we take it from there. So that is the main way that I get clients. I do have a strong social media presence as well, being in the new digital era and the social media era. Through Instagram and LinkedIn, which I don't use as much, but I'm on there, Facebook as well, and I have a website. So all of those different platforms definitely draw attention and draw people in as well. And it's also a way to support people. I love using Facebook because it allows me to set up groups, and then they can be private, and I can invite people in, and then it feels already to them like a safer space, you know. So it's like a virtual safe space, and energetically it holds that energy in it, so that people already know that this is a safer place where I can actually start to explore, and I can ask questions, and I won't be judged, and I can just speak. I can speak a little freer than if it was on the main page or something like that. So it's nice. It's nice to do that as well.
That's great. Wow. I guess now is the social media is the new norm for you to find clients. And like Facebook, you can't go wrong with Facebook, but it's really about finding them where they are located, situated at. But it's good. It's great. So how long have you been doing this career for?
I love that question, because it makes me want to say, does it matter? Really, because the thing about time is just so fascinating. From my own experience and learning from others as well who have moved through similar things, but also who've had different experiences, and they have this idea around time, this concept that time is actually just a concept. It is an illusion. It is a way that we measure our experience here as humans, right? So it's a beautiful way we measure our growth, we can measure our achievement, we can measure all these things with time. We can measure the day and how the moon and the sun goes around the earth and all of this stuff, right? How we're rotating around. Now, you can also collapse time. So in effect, time doesn't matter. Do you know what I mean? Because it's the experience that matters.
That's true.
It's the intensity, or how profoundly you embody the experiences that you have. That's what matters.
That's true.
And it's interesting that there has been a shift, a noticeable shift amongst the world, of people noticing that experiences are so important. And the more experiences we can have, then the quicker we can learn. And then we start to change and shift and become our best version continually, the more experiences we have. So you could choose to have as many experiences as you wanted in that 24-hour period that we call a day, and that is where the key is. So I've literally only been doing this coaching game, if you want to call it that, for 2 years, no, 2.5 years. And it seems like a really small, it's a little drop in the ocean. But really, when we look at the big scale of everything, humans, we've only been on this planet for that little drop in the ocean amount of time as well. So what is time? Do you know what I mean? It really doesn't matter. It's about the experiences and how ready you are. This is pretty much one of my taglines that I use is, are you ready to embrace change and growth? Because if some of us, we're just getting ready to get ready. you know, but like you can be getting ready to get ready forever, right? And nothing actually changes and nothing happens. And that tells me that there's a connection issue between the gut and the brain, or the gut and the heart, because action comes from the gut. So, and that also is the space where we hold identity. So it means that the person is not aligned with what they're doing. It means that there is something misaligned, something incongruent, something out of balance, something that is making them uneasy, something that is holding, they might be holding fear there, you know, and they don't know how to move through it because they don't have courage, you know, and it's about teaching them how to tune into those things so they can actually move through. So time, what does it mean? What does it even matter? For me, it's all about the experience. So I feel like I've learned so much, and I've grown so much in that last, you know, number of years that, yeah, that it's extremely valuable.
That's what matters. It's the experience more than the time. The time will tell when you experience a lot of great things in life. So yeah, I guess what you're doing, keep it up. Like, I guess it's still very early for you, but yeah, I'm moving earlier. I just started this business start of this year, just before COVID hit. So yeah, it's getting there, having some adversities, but it's actually growing as a person, and that's how you learn and improvise from that. So yeah, Heidi, so
you've come such a long way already as well. I just want to just stop there for a moment and congratulate you, because starting just before all the COVID stuff, and you still took action, and you still didn't let it sidetrack you or anything like that, and you still got this up and going. So that's just, you know, a testament to your integrity, which is really beautiful. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, thanks for that, Heidi. I appreciate that comment. Yeah, I guess it's not easy, but I guess you just need to persevere through it and be resilient when times are tough. So yeah, that's great. So yeah, Heidi, I'm pretty sure you know what I do. I'm a social confidence coach, and I teach people how to connect with other people from a social point of view. So from your end, I know everyone's got different views on how they can build better relationships with people. So what's your secret behind that? How do you build a rapport with people? How do you build positive relationships with people?
Yeah, there's a few things, and I definitely teach that within the courses that I run. Like Energy Aligned Woman is my signature program. And the whole first week is all about tuning into your own energy. It's tuning into, you know, is this mine or is this not mine? How are you showing up? Are you able to sit still? A lot of people can't sit still. You know, or some of them don't know how to move their body, and it's just been rigid and stuck for so long. So it's about tuning into your own energy inside you and starting to notice. So I call it awarenessing. Awarenessing, because then it's actually something that you do. It's something that you notice. You actually start to observe how you are, how your energy is, whether you're happy or sad, if someone is draining you or are they lifting you up? Where is that in you, you know? And are you doing that for yourself or not? You know, so there's so many pieces to that. But yeah, definitely it starts with tuning in and awareness always. And it always comes back to this as well. Now, the gateway for that though is the breath. The breath and breathing. Doing what we call balanced breathing in mBraining is really key. It is definitely backed in neuroscience, and it is founded from the HeartMath Institute, which, you know, is the place where Dr. Joe Dispenza did all of his studies and training for many years, researching this heart and head connection, right? But it also incorporates the gut connection. So we breathe into the tummy, and you breathe in for a count of 6 very slowly, and then out for a count of 6. And if you do that in 4 cycles, then you have what is called balanced breathing. So there are different kinds of breathing. If you are feeling stressed, then you want to do what's called parasympathetic breathing. Parasympathetic breathing to actually calm you down. and stimulate your parasympathetic nervous system.
Yeah.
And that you can also do sympathetic breathing if you are extremely lethargic or depressed and can't get out of bed. And it's a different kind of breathing, and you can actually stimulate your body into action. So we use all of that, and I use all of that in my practice. All of the mBIT coaches around the world, there's 2,500 of us now, using that specific method of breathing to help people to tune in. It helps them effectively communicate better, because they need to communicate with themselves first.
True.
A lot of people don't know anything about how their own body and how their own self is communicating. So when we look at that first, and we start to actually receive that information first and processing that in a different way and looking at that from a different viewpoint than ever before, then they start to become connected with themselves. And then that just has a beautiful ripple effect, because it's very easy then for them to connect with others. Because they're not trying to be anything that they're not, and they're able to read their own energy and the other person's energy a lot better. Yeah.
Wow.
So it's very, very useful.
Yeah, I should learn something from you. Lucky I recorded this, so I can go through.
Yeah, we'll have to have another chat later on off the camera, I think, you and I.
Nice, that's great. So that's great. Thanks for sharing your hints and tips, Heidi. I find it very useful from a holistic kind of view, because when I interview other people, ask them this question, it's always a different answer, and yours is definitely a unique one. And I like what you said. So it's good from a deeper emotional point of view. So it's great. Yeah. Heidi, that draws me to the last question. How do we find more about you? It's like I know you mentioned about you had a website. You're pretty active on social media accounts. So what's your website? So
so my business name is Minds Connect. So Mind, MINDS. Yeah. So Minds, because there's more than one. Connect, CONNECT. So it's mindsconnect.com.au, and then the Instagram and Facebook page is Minds Connect Coaching. So that, it's specifically, you can see that it's that. I do have a separate page for my Reiki clients who just like to come for Reiki. There are a few people out there who just love to come just for a Reiki tune-up or trainings and that sort of stuff. So that's Minds Connect Reiki. And then there is my personal page as well, which I do use, and people quite often will connect with me through that first. And I don't mind that, which is Heidi J. Goodman. Yeah.
Good. That's great. Yeah, that's great. YouTube viewers, you know how to connect with Heidi Goodman. So through her Instagram, Facebook, and as well as website and groups as well. Heidi, I'll definitely I'll connect you through social media, and I'll definitely upload this onto YouTube. So yeah, viewers. So I hope you enjoyed this interview with Heidi. And Heidi, I had a great time with you today, and I hope you learned something as well, and I definitely learned a lot of insight from you from a holistic point of view. Yeah, so it's always good to learn from this. So Heidi, I hope you had a good time. So, and I look forward to seeing you in the near future. Hope we can do some collaborations or anything like that.
Yes, beautiful. Thank you. Thank you very much for your time, and it was a pleasure.
No worries, Heidi. Well, you have a good time, and I look forward to seeing you soon.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks. Bye.
Bye.